Welcome to our Body Positivity panel here at the University of Cologne. I hope that what we're going to talk about today will definitely kind of touch our hearts, our souls, and give us some positive energy for the rest of the year and beyond. So perhaps we could kind of make one final round of, each of us giving kind of a personal tip to the people who are listening and watching today about, what you would advise someone to do, or what would be your best advice to someone who's actually trying to embrace themselves, who's trying to establish and maintain a more positive relationship to their body. What would be your personal, your most powerful advice on this?
My advice would be to educate yourself by reading books. Read books, read lots and lots and lots of books. There are so many great books on the anti-diet approach, intuitive eating, health at every size, body positivity, books that come from a scientific perspective, and books that are about people's own personal experience and journey. And there is so much to be learnt in reading books. And on top of reading books, sometimes it's not just enough to read about something, especially with body image, because it's a learnt behavior. So we are trying to untangle this, and we're trying to unlearn something, which can be harder than trying to learn something. So in top of books, I would also say get yourself some workbooks. There's some great workbooks on body image, and sit down with yourself and go through these workbooks and just spend 20 minutes a day or every second day working through the workbook and reflecting, because you want to dismantle years and years and years of conditioning, basically. So read books, get into workbooks, and dismantle that negative conditioning. Another thing I would say is podcasts. There's heaps of great podcasts out there, so get listening. And something I think is really important, most of us are on social media, and social media plays a massive part in our lives, particularly if you're a young person too. So get rid of all those diet accounts, those Weight Watchers accounts, the Fitspo accounts, the Thinspo accounts. Get rid of all that crap and that negativity, and replace it with body positive accounts. And my news feed now is filled with people in larger bodies. I follow a lot of fashion pages that are like plus size and whatnot. And it's just so great, because I see a lot of larger women in swimsuits or tight dresses and mini skirts and jeans, but like great fashion on larger bodies. And the larger body has just become so normal and natural to me now. And I see rolls and I see dimples, and it's just normal and it's natural. And I see larger bodies dressed in great fashion, and I'm like, bigger bodies can also look great too. And I see larger bodies in my newsfeed having a good time. So, I've found following a lot of fashion, plus size fashion really, really helpful as well. Plus all the anti-diet accounts and body positive accounts as well. Like those messages are just in my face every day, because I'm on social media every day, as most of us are. They would be my main tips.
So great to actually leave your newsfeed or to scroll your newsfeed without feeling more negatively about yourself afterwards, or feeling your mood sink or something like this. Yeah. And we can control it. We don't have to expose ourselves to contents that do make us feel bad. Now that's a very important point here. Thank you. Great.
I think that's a really good point, that we can be in control. We can reclaim. We do have that power. And I think maybe a bit of an aha moment for me, so I just share it because it might help other people. And certainly when I kind of get to this point with some of my clients, it's we unpick it and we unpick it and we unpick it. And actually people are making a lot of money out of us not liking our bodies. And that, in my naivety, I mean, this is many years ago, was like a real aha moment for me. And I felt this anger rise in me because it completely switched my perspective. Yeah, people are convincing me that my hair isn't glossy enough, that my nails need painting, and how they have managed to convince so many women that their eyelashes aren't long enough or luscious enough, I just think is an amazing marketing feat. But people spend millions and millions and millions on this. And that was a personal aha moment for me. And I often share it with clients, or we go deeper and deeper, and they get to that point themselves. So people are convincing, and I say to people, use that as a check sometimes, because there's nothing wrong with, in my opinion, looking, if you want to look good, if you want to look a certain way. So I will tint my hair, I will paint my nails, but it's about choice. It's about me choosing and me being empowered to make that choice. So there will be days, I mean, lockdown for me, part of lockdown was actually liberating. I didn't wash my hair for like 10 days. I just wore the same actually it was bloody liberating. I wasn't going to my office. I was put a bit of lippy on for Zoom. Nobody saw what was going on. I loved it. So for me, it's about choice. I think it becomes dangerous for me when people feel they should or they ought. So I just offer that because I think it's all intertwined, and I won't get on my feminist bandwagon, but I think it's all intertwined with keeping women small, keeping us worn down, keeping our heads full of unimportant things. And actually, when you shed all that, it's so liberating. You've got the choice if you want to do these things, but there's no shoulds and there's no oughts, and it's going back to that sort of natural, what do I want to do? So I guess that would be one of my biggest take home. Just check who's making money out of convincing you your body is not good enough. Because somebody usually is.
That's a huge discussion point, to actually reflect on how much money is made every day with people's dissatisfaction about themselves, about their lives, because it's always the bigger picture. And and that's
there's that lovely quote. If women woke up tomorrow loving their bodies, how many businesses would go bust?
Exactly.
They say it more beautifully than that, but yeah. People have a vested interest in us not liking our bodies.
Exactly. And that's why, what was it, 98% of diets don't work?
They sell us a problem, and then they will sell us conveniently the solution to that problem.
A short-term solution.
Yeah,
until you face that problem again, and then you will rebuy the product. So, because otherwise, I mean, they would kind of, stop their clients from rebuying things, and that's what they don't want. So it's kind of a circle, Vie, would you like to share your personal advice on body positivity?
I agree with everything that Amanda and Gill have said. The advice I would give is on a much smaller scale, but it's the thing that helped me most, and that's every time you think something negative about yourself, whether that be your body, your whatever part of you, write it down and then put that in a jar. Then I want you to find 2 good things about yourself, and that doesn't have to be about your body. It could be, I made someone smile today, I helped someone do their shopping today, and build up and put those 2 notes in a jar. And over time, not only will you be training your brain to find the good all the time, you'll also be seeing the visual representation that the negative stuff's here and the positive stuff's here. So that would be the most powerful thing that I think anyone can do to change their mindset on how good and bad they are. I mean, those are words we shouldn't use about ourselves anyway. But yes, that would be my biggest tip.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Lara, how about you?
Yeah, just to follow on from what we were talking about marketing and things, owning a women's health centre for 6 years, I think it nearly absolutely destroyed my soul. And I learnt so much about myself and women, and that's where I think I started to really question and find out a lot about myself, and to unravel a little more about what Gill was saying. And it just conflicted me as a person when I think probably 90%, maybe a bit higher, of the women that walk through the doors, I found were not there for fitness. They were there because they were lonely. I saw women walk in that fitness centre, sometimes not even work out. They were there to find their friend that they'd joined up with. They walked back out and went across the road and had a coffee and a cake. They were looking for comfort and friendship. So, yeah, what we were selling there wasn't fitness, it was friendship. And, for me, the biggest learning there was finding my soul. And it was what I was trying to sell was conflicting with who I was, and that's what started my journey of finding myself. And that's what I'm still doing now. And I'm undoing all those years of conditioning and finding out who the true me is. So that's what it all means to me. And yeah, that's my biggest tip, is be true to you. You have to be true to you to be true to someone else and support someone else on their journey, and walk beside them. Show, don't tell. Show, don't tell. Yeah, that's my biggest tip.
Hayley, something to add here, perhaps?
Absolutely. Firstly, ladies who've shared previously, phenomenal tips, insights, very, very powerful things, totally resonating with everything you're saying. And something I'd love to add that's been incredibly powerful for me is having a goal completely unrelated to my body. Having a goal that is about me finding adventure, that is about me creating memories, that is about me getting out into the world. And having that, tapping into that for yourself, will give you all of the things that the obsession with your weight and your body promised you but has never delivered on. I've realized that when you finally have that courage and vision to dream bigger, to expand from just this, because we're not just this, we exist in a whole world full of other things, wonderful things waiting for us to experience. So find out your goals, find out your big life goals, your bucket list goals, tap into a vision for yourself, have other things that you want to achieve that's nothing to do with your weight, nothing to do with your body at all. That will be my first one, which is absolutely key. The second one would be, and I did this with my group about, I'd say, a month ago, is to look at the images in the media before they are constructed and put together. Actually look at what it was, the real image before, and you see how it's been constructed, how it's been airbrushed, how it's been superimposed, and you realize, oh, that doesn't even look like that original person. And we're comparing ourselves, many of us, I've done it myself, comparing our worst day with someone's like airbrushed, constructed. They've had professional makeup, professional hair, they've got amazing lighting, wind machine, probably had coaching on how to pose. I mean, come on, no one can compare themselves to that. It's freaking ridiculous. When you actually sit, and when I did this with these women, just you could see their eyes start to liven up and brighten, and just shaking their heads and go, how have I ever like compared myself and expected me to match up to something that's not even real? It's not even real. So do that work. There's so many pictures out there that you can look at. It's great that more and more of that is getting out there. And my final one would be to replace judgment with compassion. Whenever you have a thought that is about judging yourself or even judging someone else, replace it with compassion. What would that sound like? What would that look like? What would that feel like for you? all, like I did it today on my run. I noticed my legs wobbling a little bit more than they normally do. And I just looked down and I was like, you know what, legs, I'm so bloody grateful for you, because of you, I can run and I can do this. I can get out there and experience life. So have that switch in your mind from judgment to compassion whenever you can. It's a really powerful way to reframe your brain and undo that conditioning that we're all talking about.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you all so much for these wonderful, wonderful, inspiring, uplifting words. I'm sure we all feel like, oh my goodness, just really empowered now. I mean, I don't think there's a different way of feeling today after all we've heard so far. So thank you all so much. That has been a great experience.